Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Sharqiyah North and Sharqiyah South in Oman. I've seen a lot of my Oman videos. You know I love Oman a lot, and I'm always excited to talk about Oman. These two regions are very, very interesting because a lot of tourist things happen here. A lot of tourist things happen all throughout this area here of Oman, but there's a lot of fun things for tourists to do out in nature in this area. So I found so much information about geography and sites to see, and very little about history. So I had to pull from a bunch of sources to find some kind of history timeline to tell you. But let's get into the geography first of all. Sharqiyah North, as you can see, has a little coastline right here. I think this is all Muscat up here. So we're not talking about this coastline, but this coastline here we're going to talk about a bit in history. But around here, it's not denoted in this part of the map, but this is where the Al-Hajar Mountains sweep down through the Arabian Peninsula here. And they create all kinds of beautiful canyons, so many rivers and streams flowing through them, and lots of interesting caves and sinkholes as well. We're going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. Further south, though, you can see some of the wadis here. Wadis are temporary rivers. Rivers that when there's rain, they're flowing. When there's no rain, there's nothing there. The most prominent is actually up here in the north. It flows out about right there. It's called Wadi Shab. But in the south here, in north and south, is the Sharqiyah Sands, which if you close your eyes and I say think of a desert, it's exactly what you're thinking right now. Rolling orange sand dunes as far as the eye can see. It's a lot like the Rub al Khali over here in Saudi Arabia, the empty quarter, where it's just sand dunes and sand dunes and sand dunes. But it's like a little miniature version that just exists right down here. Again, the mountains are dominating like this whole area here. So it's this interesting little territory. It's like the mountains are separating the empty quarter from this part of the desert. But it looks very, very similar. The south area is mostly that desert, but the northern part of the South Governorate is pretty bustling. There's Sur here, the largest city, and I believe both governorates. I think Sur's the biggest city. And as we go further down, it obviously gets more and more sparse, but we have this island here. This is Masirah Island, and from what I can tell, there's settlements, but it's not like, there's my tummy, sorry. It's not like it's a populated island, so to say. From what I can tell, it's more of like a reserve. It's very famous for turtles laying their eggs here, and people come to observe that and make sure it all goes smoothly. And I think for the most part, that is the geography. But what's interesting is that some geographic features of the North Governorate are UNESCO sites. One of them we've talked about before because they are found in many of the other governorates of Oman, and that is the Aflaj irrigation system of Oman. Let me pull that up. Hold on the Aflaj irrigation systems of Oman. So I've read this before, but you can see it's in Dakilia and Al-Batinan. Now we're talking Sharqiyah. But let's read it one more time, why not? This will be the last time I read it. The property includes 5 Aflaj irrigation systems and is representative of some 3,000 such systems still in use in Oman. The origins of this system of irrigation may date back to 500 CE, but archaeological evidence suggests that irrigation systems existed in this extremely arid area as early as 2500 BCE. Using gravity, water is channeled from underground sources or springs to support agriculture and domestic use. The fair and effective management and sharing of water in villages and towns is still underpinned by mutual dependence and communal values and guided by astronomical observations. Numerous watchtowers built to defend the water systems form part of the site, reflecting the historic dependence of communities on the Aflaj system. Threatened by falling level of the underground water table, the Aflaj represent an exceptionally well-preserved form of land use. So here we can see that the water goes through these amazing little canals, again propelled by gravity, to go through the neighborhoods here to irrigate farmland and bring water to people's homes. In many, many areas of Oman, you can see some of the watchtowers there. And some of the beautiful green farmland there that you can find in North Sharqiyah. One other UNESCO site that is just in Sharqiyah North is the ancient city of Kalhat. The property, which is located on the east coast of the Sultanate of Oman, includes the ancient city of Kalhat, surrounded by inner and outer walls, as well as areas beyond the ramparts where necropolises are located. The city developed as a major port on the east coast of Arabia between the 11th and 15th centuries CE during the reign of the Hormuz princes. The ancient city bears unique archaeological testimony to the trade links between the east coast of Arabia, East Africa, India, China, and Southeast Asia. We're going to take a look at some of these ruins on Google Earth, but they're absolutely beautiful, right? Some are very well preserved. Lots of old writing there. You can see it says it's a tombstone. And a little aerial view of what used to be their mosque. How amazing is that? But there's more amazing facts about Kalhat that we're going to talk about in history. So let's seg into that. So one source I read, trying to look up history, I think it was translated from Arabic, because it was very strangely phrased, was that the al-Nar civilization was present in the upper regions here, and I thought that can't be right because al-Nar is over here, and I thought they were more, in this area, but I tried to find some evidence of this, and lo and behold, I was on Google Earth and I found some tombs from the al-Nar culture. They're very, very distinct. They kind of look like the big watchtowers. So I'm like, yeah, I believe it now. Very ancient, very pre-Islamic culture that was existing over here. But, like I said, skipping a bit ahead, we had Kalhat, which you can see right here. Right there. And then we had the city of Sur, which I'm not sure when they were founded, but I read that Sur used to be the capital of the region. I'm not sure what it was called back then. Maybe it was Hormuz. Before Islam came and it moved over to Muscat and Salalah, later Zanzibar, all over the place, right? And these areas were very, very important, like it said, the 11th to the 15th century, so even more so. Because of its location, you can see the Arabian Sea is out here, heading into the Gulf of Oman. And this area was a very important trading center for many different Indian Ocean trading countries, like it said, India, Southeast Asia, the eastern coast of Africa, so on and so forth. And it was also a major shipbuilding center, which we're going to look at on Google Earth. Kalhat. Hello, this is Editing ASMR Geographica. This next part I am cutting out because it turned out I completely confused Kalhat with another ancient city we're going to talk about later in the week. So this part doesn't make any sense if I left it in. So just know that I am talking about the old ancient ruins of Kalhat, and then I'm going to start talking about the modern town of Kalhat. And instead of rebuilding those old buildings, they just kind of relocated and built an adjacent city next to the old ruins, and that city is still there today. Kalhat still exists. And all of those beautiful ruins you saw are just like in the outskirts of the city, which you don't really find in a lot of like these ancient archaeological cities. Most of them do not exist in any capacity anymore, but Kalhat still does. So there's the ancient Kalhat and the modern Kalhat existing side by side. That's really cool, I think. The Portuguese came by in the early 1500s and took over the region here, trying to capitalize on trade. Portuguese dominance would only really last for, think about like 100 years or so. The Omanis rose up and took their land back, and later had a lot of trade agreements with the British to try to keep the peace in the like Persian Gulf, Arabian Sea area. But this area would come under the Sultanate of Muscat, the Sultanate of Oman and Zanzibar, like I mentioned before, and then of course eventually the independent country of Oman. And this region was known as Sharqiyah until 2011, when they split it in two, and I have no idea why. Oman redid a bunch of their governorates in 2011, and they made it two separate ones. I guess geographically this one is much rockier, this one is much coastier, I guess, but sure, they did that. And that's pretty much all of the history that I could find. Again, I had to poke around and try to find as many little sources as I could to find little facts here and there. But that's what I've got. So why don't we head over to Google Earth and play around and see what we can find. So you can see exactly where we are in the world. If you're not quite sure where Oman is located, it is on the Arabian Peninsula. You can see here. There's the Persian Gulf with Iran right there. Here's the Arabian Sea, part of the Indian Ocean. There's India. And Africa's up here. So we're going to start. Let's see, where should we start? I guess we should poke around the mountains. Oh, by the way, look how beautiful this desert is, right? Try to describe it if there's a spot. Get rid of that, okay. Beautiful sand dunes and everything here, but look at these big mountains. Now, I have dove into this area of Oman, I think about 3 times doing research, and every time I found something different and incredible. So we're just gonna have to see what we find. Of course, now that I'm filming, it's having a trouble loading. Looks like there's a little mountain peak over here. Some of these beautiful canyons that are all throughout northern Oman. Very, very rugged and beautiful. Look at the little village there. That's really nice. I like that. But there's lots of campsites here. A lot of the touristy stuff is actually in the desert, where if you see any little towns, those are campsites. Like if I find a random spot in the desert, look at these. These are campsites that tours will take people out to and just like be in the desert and see all the stars and everything. Very, very beautiful. Got a little oasis over here by the looks of it. Gorgeous. I'm sure lots of dates and things are growing there. I've read that there is a very big agricultural industry in the North Governorate. There's an flush. But I don't know, you tell me. Like I only see little spots like that. It doesn't really seem like, a huge industry, But let's see if I can find. I might have to just pull it up. I think I have it saved in my search. If I go like this. Yes. Oh, it was further north. Look at this. This here. That's a cave. This isn't a lake. That's a cave. And look how beautiful it is inside. It's magical. It is so amazing. Look at this hole in the ground. Little camel friend. There are lots of really neat big singles. Oh, see, here's one of the Umanar tombs. I found one. This is from the Umanar culture that was mostly present in what's now the Emirates. But these were the tombs that they built. Beautiful, beautiful cave here, little friends. Oh, cute. Like, caves, kind of creep me out. But this is like one of the first caves that I've seen pictures of and actually wanted to go inside of it. That I'm not, like, intimidated by it. Oh, beautiful. I think it's fascinating. There's another cave nearby here. Let me see if it'll pop up. I'm not sure it's not this. No. Maybe it's not going to pop up. There's another campsite. Oops. It's a fantastic view of the coastline here. Let's check that out. Oh, here's the cave I was looking for. I'll show you that in a second. Let's see the fantastic view of the coastline. That is very lovely, isn't it? You can park your chair, bring your snacks, and enjoy the beautiful view. So before we look at this cave, a warning for, I think it's called trypophobia. If you are bothered by many tiny holes, look away, okay? Because this is called 7 Holes Cave. And here we go. You've been warned if that kind of thing bothers you. But look at all of these. It's almost like pumice stone, like volcanic stone. There are not 7 holes. There's like thousands of holes. Maybe they mean like there are 7 ways to get inside this cave, but it is full of just these incredible little holy rocks. It's a big mountain climbing adventures in this part of Oman. Okay, it's gone. You can look now. If that kind of thing bothers you, I know it does for some people. Here is the Wadis shop. This is definitely from what I can tell in my research, the largest wadi in the governorate. Look how deep it is. Looks like they're swimming in it. It gets so deep. And again, a wadi is a temporary river, so during the dry season, there's no water here. Welcome to Wadi Shop Oman. Pretty remarkable. We go over here. We're gonna explore Kalhat. So here you can see the modern town, right? I know it's not like beautiful skyscrapers or anything, but it is a town nonetheless. And then if we head to the outskirts, I think around here, no. Where is it? It's like very prominent. Once you see it here, like, oh, that's it. The old ruins. It's not here. No, that's very modern. That looks like a school. Let's see. T-spot right there for the campers. Okay, I'm not gonna bother looking around. We're gonna call hut. It's gonna show me that. But okay, I promise it's on the outskirts. But here's some of the ruins. Look at the slideshow. Very ancient coastal trading city. It's a lot surprisingly preserved for how old it is. Big tower. I think this was a mausoleum. And like we saw on UNESCO's website, there's the ruins of the old mosque as well. So neat. Beautiful, beautiful towns here. It's very haunting, isn't it? And they do have a nice beach. But I think we should slide over to the South Governorate next to look at Sur. I dropped a pin. Go away. Here is Sur. As you can see, it's much more bustling than Kahat. And it does have some very lovely beaches. Here's a public beach and walking area. And I like that. I like this installation here where if you find some trash, you can throw it in there. So it's not making their beaches cluttered and disgusting with trash. You can keep it nice. Especially as stuff like kind of floats in from the ocean, right? You can collect it and dispose of it safely. We also have this beach over here, but we're going to explore over here at the dhow factory. So dhows are very traditional Omani boats. And they are built, if I remember correctly, they are built without tools. They are constructed by hand and pieced together like Legos. And they're very fast and seaworthy ships. And I think I was reading that it's either here or the Maritime Museum, which is just around the corner when we take a look at it. I think it's here, the Maritime. They have the largest dhow that's ever been built on display. Very cool. There's Oman's flag. Some old symbols there, looks like. And we can see a little family life there in that diorama. Surely some old, like, chart notes for navigation. This is beautiful. Kind of reminds me of, like, Malta. Some tools there. Yeah. Very cool museum. Big bridge. The big watchtower. Let me see if I can find it. There's a spot somewhere over here. Yes. Nice view. I guess this is where people take these photos of the lighthouse. There's another one in here. Let's see. And yep, you can pluck the little lighthouse there. But that's like the big bridge. Whenever you look up pictures of Sur, you see that bridge. Oh, the corniche. Alright, let's head over. I feel like I've been meaning to show you something else and I've completely forgotten. But like I said, I keep coming to this area and exploring and like finding cool new stuff all the time. And it's mainly like stuff in the mountains, little campsites, stuff along the coastline. So I highly encourage you to play around, not just in this region, but Oman. You can find so many amazing sites on Google Earth in Oman. But we're going to close out on Masirah Island. So like I said, like yes, there's settlements, like lighthouses and campsites and stuff, but it's not like people live here, right? Oh, I remembered one thing I wanted to show you. I'll show it to you after the island. Let's see if we can. Let's look at the lighthouse. If there's any good slideshows here of this island. Very simple lighthouse. They have a very rocky island out here. Mostly just for wildlife and people who want to enjoy wildlife. Let's see. What's that? Wow, some beautiful rocks. A little pool of some kind. Maybe that's another little irrigation area. Maybe so your camels can get a drink or something if they need it. But yeah, not really much happening on this island. But anyway, the last thing I want to show you that I thought was really cool, but I have to remember where it is. I think it's somewhere over here. I was playing around the other day and I saw this spot. Oh, a turtle reserve. Hold on, I got distracted. Turtle Beach. I wonder if we're going to see any turtles. Yep. This wasn't it, but this is pretty cool too. Look, they dig their little nests in the sand at night. Lay their eggs. Then they're very closely guarded. So when the little turtles hatch, they can all go safely to the ocean. It's somewhere around the coast here. So we're going to just... Oh, I found it. That was easy. The easternmost point in the Arabian Peninsula. This is where we're going to end it tonight. The easternmost point in the Arabian Peninsula. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on my channel. And next, we are heading over to Ghana. There's a turtle burying in the sand. Let's see, I haven't thought about how I can link these two. We are going to see, what do these two places have in common? I guess this place in Ghana is a very ancient site. Well, ancient. Very culturally important site. But it is still thriving and ongoing today. It is not in ruins, let's put it that way. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. I hope that you found this video relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good